Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a quick review of the Holt Spector. Review or more like an overview or a show and tell. Please subscribe and like the Facebook page, follow the Instagram, all that fun stuff is much appreciated. Let's go ahead and get into size comparisons though. With a few blades everybody knows, the 940, as you can tell, the 940 is shorter both in the blade and the handle, not by much, so they're very comparable of overall size, if you are curious. Next is going to be the Shaman. There we go. So, if you look at the blades, the Holt does have a slightly longer blade, not by much, you can kind of tell. Handles are very, very close. The Shaman has slightly longer handle. And let's just do the cursory zooms on here. These guys are pretty much exact. Like your blade lengths are exactly the same, so is your handle length. So if you're wondering about overall size, that's kind of what you're looking at. Now the Unumzan is a lot wider, taller kind of scenario there, where this is a lot more tapered, it's thinner. Some people like that, some people don't. Depends. Carrying wise, it makes it a whole lot easier to carry. Unumzan isn't hard to carry, so it's not too big of a deal. Then here is your XM18 3.5 inch. As you can tell, the Spector is slightly longer in blade length, and in cutting edge, and the handle is shorter. And it's going to be basically the same thing for this guy, but I mean, that's just in case if someone has a Shredder SMG but doesn't have a XM18 in their collection. There you go. You never know. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. That way you guys can kind of like look at this guy. It is a little dirty. It was in the pocket yesterday, so in the pocket. So one thing I have to say is, yeah, that milling. It's really, really hard to beat this milling. Just the detail of it is insane. Any milling to this degree is insane. It is centered, of course. I love the little blue kind of teal accents all over this one. Backspacer, all that. The action, by the way, it's probably the very best action I have of any folder. Better than the Arius, yes. Better than the Norseman, yes. 100%. It's just so smooth. And you have some milling in there, but overall this guy's pretty light. Sits around about the 4-ounce mark. So 4 ounces while being slim like this, but also having a 3.6 inch cutting edge. That's hard to beat. Oh, and the lines, just continuing from the base here and then going there all the way to the it just kind of has one slight curve all the way through. And full flat grind, by the way, from all the way down, it makes it a slicer. I don't know what this is, but if you are curious, I've had it longer than I could kind of like that. See that? With ease, no resistance with cutting. It's because it's so thin behind the edge. Kind of disappears a little bit. It's insane. Flipper is a decent size, but not too big. But it's really good to access, really good to get to. Good to stop your finger from getting sliced when it falls down. You can kind of control it. You don't have to let it fall down on you. It's just overall really nice. It's hard to beat. The ergonomics is, yeah, it's great. The jimping is not too aggressive, but useful. Yes, it is in 20 CV. The simple lion on the face is great. It's almost a complete clean blade, not quite. Just this little marking, the steel, and then the lion. I kind of like the lion, to be honest. It's a nice logo instead of having their name plastered all over it. The only problem I have with a Holt Spector is one, you can't get them direct right now. They've stopped making them. So just so you're aware, that's why this isn't necessarily a review. A review is going to be something I can point you to, or like I can tell you, hey, it's here or there, or something like that. Whereas like you can actually go get it. Even if it's hard to go get it, like stock-wise. But the only really place you can get it is secondary market, and good luck. They're either just going to be hard to find, or they're going to be pricey. Just how it is. You're looking at the very minimum 800, and 800 for a defective one, like something that has like a dent or massive edge or something. Or you're looking at a 13, which is expensive. A lot of people cannot do that. It does also, by the way, have over travel stop. You can kind of see it right there, and you can kind of see it right there. But overall, if you're someone that is looking for this to add to your collection, I would 100% go for it. It's, in my opinion, probably one of the best, if not the best, American-made knife overall, like for use, period. For what you're gonna use a pocket knife for, it being slicey yet durable, because the stops are actually internal. You can kind of see the track right there. But the stop is internal. It's very durable. This is obviously not a Gen 4. This is not the newest generation that they made. This is the one right before, because the newest one is actually a liner. I went to get a frame lock. I prefer a frame lock. And it's mainly because frame locks tend to have a beefier actual lock, where and as long as you're gripping it, you're fine. It's not going anywhere. But if a liner, I don't know if it's more likely to fail, to be quite honest. I do know, however, that it is often less beefy of an actual lock hitting the knife itself, the blade itself. So easier to bend, easier to fail in a sort, which I have never necessarily been a fan of. But also liners do have this feel of a cheaper knife, and maybe that's just me, but I just like a frame lock, so that's why I did not get the newer generation that was released. I got the one right before it. I believe that means a 3. And the newest generation was a 4. Was the 4th generation. I would love for them to come out with a 5th generation, but I probably wouldn't be able to get my hands on it either. So, but either way, this thing is beautiful. Ergonomics, great user. It is small, easy to carry. It's nice. Not too thick to carry either. But like, let's say if you're comparing it to carry-wise to anything in this size realm, it's just so much easier to carry, so much thinner. So if you have even the ZT, that is roughly the size, which there are some CTs that size. This is just way easier to carry. But there's not really, I know this is going to be a shorter one, but there's not really anything else to say about it. It's just kind of like looking at it, it's hard not to. The little details like this notch out here, yeah, and this right here, the notch out in the spacer for the blade. Detailed work. So smooth. The sad thing is, yes, they are not making any more Spectors at the moment. They have other knives. Another model they are making. All really good models, all really good knives. I think they are all actually on the smaller side than the Spector lengthwise. But I would love to bring it back. They did do a special run for charity of a Spector. I don't know, like 5 months ago, something around there. I did not get that. I wish I had the ability or be able to afford that at that time, but was not. But it sold for quite a lot, but it was a beautiful blade. Damascus handle, all of that. But at the end of the day, there's not much I can really say about this blade other than it may be the overall most perfect blade, period. It's simple, it's durable, it's usable, it's ergonomic, and the action is insane. The details everywhere of this knife is insane. Even this, like the fact that it matches the top and it's smooth and little things like that. They really show how much you're paying attention, and this lining up with that, and it just lines up the scales all the way through. It's insane, but a good insane. Like, I love it. That's all I gotta say. But one thing I have always noticed about high quality knives is the actual frame. When locked and when unlocked here, like when you have it there, it is slightly raised, or it's flush with the actual frame. That's to prevent pinching. Because if it's actually lower and then it raises and it comes back down, it's more likely to grab your skin and pinch you. Just a side note, which this does great. It does not have that issue. And like this line right here, sorry, it's just, and the milling lines, it's, yeah, it's insane. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite blades, that's for sure. Anyways, that's really all I have. Maybe one day they'll come up with another run, but I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna come out with another one or not. I don't know what that looks like. I hope they do, but only time will tell. Either way, this is a great blade. If you can get your hand on one, I would 100% do it, flat out. If you can do it and you want to add it to your collection, and you have the ability to pull the trigger, I would, because they're fantastic. But either way, that's going to be it for this one. Please, again, subscribe. Please like the Facebook page, and please follow Instagram. And you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.